Hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Geekdom 101. I seen this in his list and I was like, oh, Dragon Ball AF. I remember seeing things about this when I was at school. Like, Dragon Ball Z had ended, GT was there, and there was like pictures on Google and things where it had Dragon Ball AF all over it. And I didn't know what it was at the time, but I do believe it was like fan-made stuff based off of like Super Saiyan transformations and stuff, and then like stories people made. But still to this day, I'm not 100% what it is. Never really thought to look into it until seeing this. So this will be cool. Like, let's have Geekdom explain what Dragon Ball AF actually is.
On the previous edition of
That was a
Dragon
good
Ball
video.
In-Depth,
That was a
I
good
covered
video.
the story of Dragon Ball GT, both its creation and the end of
That
GT,
was good. Don't
which
reaction
would
to that.
mark the end of the Dragon Ball anime for over a decade.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we didn't want it.
No, we
I
wanted
can speak
more.
for a lot of
There we
people
are.
when I say that we wanted more Dragon Ball. What I found very interesting is that in the late 90s, Dragon Ball was ending in Japan, but in other parts of the world, it was just beginning. Dragon Ball was just starting to be a hot thing in the United States.
Yeah.
In Latin America, it had been cooking for quite some time, and as a result of the popularity and the expansion of Dragon Ball internationally, new fans were being made all throughout the 90s when the show was already over in Japan.
Crazy.
But even by
That
the
is quite
mid-2000s,
crazy.
when pretty much everything was already dubbed, Dragon Ball fans all over the world wanted more Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, we got, well, a number of different hoaxes,
Not
tons
real,
of
right.
fake news floating around about a new Dragon Ball series forever. This went on for a decade with tons of fake stories and hoaxes about new Dragon Ball coming until finally in 2015
Finally.
we did get a new Dragon Ball TV show, and that would be Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
But to me,
In between.
the biggest hoax of them all, the one that stuck and has the most interesting story and actually ties into Dragon Ball Super,
Right.
believe it or not, is Dragon Ball AF. The story of Dragon Ball AF stretches far beyond it just being a hoax
Stretch,
and into
get
a
it,
story
good.
that I find fascinating, and thus it is the topic for this edition of Dragon Ball In Depth.
Cool.
この放送はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Okay.
People lying in the Dragon Ball fandom is nothing new.
No.
In fact, I've kind of made a career out of debunking these lies. Fake rumors and hoaxes existed in this fandom even before YouTube existed. People preying on the young and the gullible has been something that humanity has done forever because, well, human beings are sick like that. So
Yeah.
when you have a TV show and a manga as beloved and as popular as Dragon Ball, there's lots of targets out there to mess with. And the story of AF is kind of like that, but I like to chalk it up to it being more of a mistake, more of a mistranslation, and then people just corroborating it and expounding upon it versus somebody maliciously
Was it just fan drawings that
trying
then
to
just like
screw
leaked
with
out
people.
and...
But with that said, the part of the AF story that I find so interesting is that it started off as a hoax and then fans gravitated towards it thinking it was real,
Right.
but a couple of fans took it to where they made their own version of AF, which confused other fans because
God.
it looked so damn real.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where one of these fans actually wound up working on Dragon Ball, specifically Dragon Ball Super,
Oh.
and becoming a big shot in the
What?
Dragon Ball stratosphere.
That's so cool.
But let's go back and briefly look at the original hoax and where the Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
let's
AF
do that, please.
story began.
The history of the hoax.
So we're going to run through this pretty quickly because I have covered this briefly in the past. This entire AF hoax began with a famous picture which was passed around the internet for such a long time and fooled so many people of what was referred to at the time in the late 90s as Super Saiyan 5 Goku. And people
Yeah.
on the web claimed to have authentic sources in Japan that had episodes and things like that
Right.
of a series that didn't even exist.
Yeah, I've seen
called
it.
Dragon Ball
I've seen
AF.
it.
But when you mix that with somewhat convincing fan art
Yeah.
and people who have no connections in Japan,
They're
then
gonna believe
you
it.
could see why folks were fooled.
Yeah.
To the point where Kanzenshu even did an April Fool's prank one year
Oh,
where
no.
they claimed to have footage of AF, get it, April Fool's AF, but it wound up being just a prank, bro. At the
good.
time,
Like
Dojinshi was called Dojinshi EX, and they knew it wasn't real, but they wanted to screw with you on April Fools. So what is the real story behind that supposed Super Saiyan 5 Goku or whatever? It was revealed years later that the picture didn't even come from Japan.
Oh no.
The image actually came from a magazine, a video game magazine in Spain called Hobby Consolas.
Okay.
And it was just fan art that was submitted to the magazine by a man named Daniel Montal.
That's really
Franco.
funny.
And Mr. Franco would write Dragon Ball AF in the lower right corner of the picture, and thus people on the internet
thought it was a thing,
as it standing for Dragon Ball After Future,
right.
a new series to happen after GT featuring Goku ascending into godhood. That's right. They had a god form for Goku before Toriyama even thought of it.
Right.
This fake rumor was so big that Funimation themselves had to address it
at
panels
did they? That's amazing.
conventions, debunking its existence.
It's not
That's
real.
Crazy.
Not
that
real.
is crazy. The funny part is the picture isn't even Goku. It's a character known as Tablos. And if you're wondering whatever happened to this guy, well, he's still on the internet. On Instagram, on Twitter, Tablos AF is still putting out fan art. Is still putting out fan manga after taking a long hiatus and still developing his Dragon Ball AF fan fiction. He is the OG creator of Dragon Ball AF.
Now that's something to be able to friggin' say, isn't it?
He would not be the only one. Let's discuss Dragon Ball AF's tie-in to Dragon Ball Super and how Dragon Ball AF helped springboard the career of a very important person, a very important creator for this franchise.
Yeah? The legacy of Dragon Ball AF.
Let's talk about Dojinshi. Dojinshi literally translates to self-published book, otherwise known as, well, fan fiction, which is a big thing in Japan. Fans of certain franchises create their own manga and actually put it out there. And some companies are okay with it, other companies are not.
I'd imagine,
and as a result of
like,
Dragon Ball being over for so many years, and so many Dragon Ball fans wanting more Dragon Ball, they figured, well, let's just make our own. And Dragon Ball AF was the launching pad, the inspiration for a lot of these artists.
It's so funny how these things come about, isn't it?
I would love to cover some of this fan manga in the future, and Dragon Ball In Depth is not really a series where I delve into that kind of stuff. That's more for a separate series down the road, but the reason why we have to talk about this is because it has a huge impact on the future of Dragon Ball in a very weird way. So I'll be honest, I don't know how many Dragon Ball AF mangas there are, because if I were to scour the internet, I could probably find tons and tons.
There'd probably be a lot of
it.
But
the two that are really well known are from two artists. One of them is Young Gigi, who still draws tons of stuff on his Twitter, all over the web. Very, very talented artist. He did his own version of Dragon Ball AF. And the other one is from a man by the name of Toyble. So sometime in the mid to late 2000s, this guy Toyble starts uploading random fan manga to his blog on a website called Live Door. This fan manga would be Dragon Ball AF. His version of the story, taking some ideas from the original concept art and creating an entirely new story that took place after the end of Dragon Ball GT. Now, some people took that fan manga and put it out there as being legitimately from Toriyama because the dude was a pretty good artist even back then. So a bunch of people believed this fan manga to be official work. But it really wasn't, but it looked pretty damn authentic. And it just became this big thing where fans were adding their own storylines, and there was this big synergy at the time, and not just in Japan, about Dragon Ball AF. So this guy Toyble's drawing this Dragon Ball AF manga, doodling stuff for fun,
That's cool.
And all of a sudden Shueisha, the official company in Japan, hires a dude named Toyotaro. Now the worst kept secret at the time was that Toyotaro and Toyble were in fact the same person.
Oh, wow.
To the degree where he actually ended the Dragon Ball AF manga, Toyble that is, saying that he can't do it anymore because he's working on another project. And that other project would end up being Dragon Ball Heroes Victory Mission, the manga, the officially released manga.
Because he's the guy drawing the Super manga.
Of course, this was only in Japan. Having been recognized for his incredible talent and ability to mimic Toriyama, Toyotaro would continue to work officially for Shueisha,
That's so
putting out the Dragon Ball
cool.
Z Resurrection F promotional manga, and he would later be put in charge of doing the Dragon Ball Super manga, which was originally going to be just a promotional vehicle for the anime, but as the months went by, it kind of became its own thing.
It's cool.
It became its own sort of adaptation and story, which wound up leading to Toyotaro eventually working side by side with the original creator,
so
Akira
good.
Toriyama.
So
and as
cool.
he continued to develop the Dragon Ball Super manga, he actually became a character designer for the entirety of Super, creating a number of designs of several of the new gods from the 12 universes
Wow,
himself
that's
that both
so
Toei would adapt
sick.
to the anime
That is sick.
as well as be featured in the manga. And it all started because Toyotaro did a Dragon Ball AF fan manga. So
That's
in a roundabout
incredible.
way, Tablos creating Dragon Ball AF in the late 90s wound up giving Toyotaro a job officially on the series,
Amazing.
working with Toei and working with Toriyama, and having a huge impact on the official Dragon Ball Super television series and brand as a whole. So Dragon Ball AF, in a weird, strange, roundabout way,
Wow.
helped in the creation
Yeah.
of Dragon Ball Super.
That's
Thank you for checking out
incredible.
this edition of Dragon Ball In Depth. And remember, if you're an artist out there, you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
You might get hired one day for an official company just because
There you go, it's happened.
fun and because you're a fan of a franchise. Toyotaro did it, and I'm sure you can too. Thank you. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
That's absolutely boss. So he saw a fan thing, decided to make his own, got hired for a side project, which eventually led him into making the manga for Dragon Ball Super. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm so glad I watched that because I was just like, cool. Ah, man. That is boss. So yeah, there you go, guys. All these people that make all these fan stuff, if you're into that, do it, because you never know where it's gonna go. Damn, that's cool. Learn stuff. Yay. Thank you guys very much for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. Next time.